All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Craft CMS plugin called Redactor. Redactor is a really cool plugin. It's a WYSIWYG. I know a lot of you guys use it out there. If you're new to Craft, this is probably going to be a really good primer to learn how to work with Redactor. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do to get started with Redactor is you need to go inside of your control panel and you need to go to the plugin store. So I'm going to head on over there. I already have it installed. We're not going to go through that process. There's a couple of things you can do to install it. Let's just search for Redactor. Probably helps to spell it right. Let's see here. All right, so here it is right here. So it's basically a rich text editor. So rich text, you can drop in a whole lot of different content. It's really cool. It's really flexible, which is why I like using it. There's a couple ways you can install it. You can install it via Composer, or you can install it through the DDEV. So DDEV is another environment that you can spin up and you can develop through there. So basically, you can choose to install it through the control panel or through the plugin store this way. Or you can do Composer DDEV install. Here I have the config open. So if you go in your project, you go into the config folder, you'll see Redactor, and you'll see two configuration files. They are default and simple. Now, when you go to use a Redactor field, so let's say you set up a field. So let's say if I go to fields, and in one instance, I have a page builder set up, and inside of one of these fields is a Redactor field. So there's a configuration that you need to have set up. Now, right now, it's default. So you can make your own, it doesn't really matter, which is really interesting. I find that it's highly flexible. So let's just go ahead and let's start here. So this one I have, it's called headline. When you choose your configuration file, you can customize default and you can customize simple. If you need something else, you can hit enter custom config and you can actually just copy and paste. So if you just copy and you paste that, boom, there's your configuration file. So normally I don't really like to do that. I like to use just a flat file. So what I would do is I would edit the default. And you can go into here and you can see the different settings that Redactor has. So Redactor Craft CMS just basically, said, hey, we're going to use Redactor by Imperavi, and we're going to utilize that and put it into our CMS. So they did a great job with that. So I'm just going to keep my configuration file as default. I'm going to, so let's run through some of these options. Show HTML button for non-admin users. So if you have a different user on your system and they're not an admin user, do you really want them to be able to paste in HTML? It's up to you. You can set your volume, and you can also determine which transforms are available, and if there's multiples, you can decide which one you want to have the default. So that's really cool too. Also, there's this cleanup HTML. So every time something is saved in the Redactor field, it will clean that particular Redactor field. And basically, you don't want people to be able to punch in malicious code like scripts or anything like that. Something that I don't like to do is remove inline styles. Use that as your discretion. Remove empty tags. So a lot of times, this plugin in particular will add in an extra P tag. I find that pretty annoying, and I go back and I erase it. It's happened a lot. So I just realized that, hey, there's this little checkbox here, so I'm going to have that do the work. And replace non-breaking spaces with regular spaces. That's up to you. Go ahead if you want to have a an NBSP in there, then go for it. Otherwise, just keep it at what it is. Let's see, the HTML purifier config. So Purify will actually clean up the redactor field and get rid of any potentially malicious code. So that's really neat. Column type. So you should be aware that if you change this to something larger, so let's say 64 kilobytes is a lot of data to be popping into a rich text field unless you have a lot of imagery in one single little field. So keep this in mind when you build out your CMS for other, if you expect, a lot of content to be added into these fields, you might want to go with medium text. If you have a lot of images in one particular field, then that may be the way to go. Otherwise, I would work on maybe image optimization. But yeah, so that's pretty much in a nutshell some of the field settings inside of this is inside of a matrix block, but some of the redactor field settings. So let's go through and check out what exactly is available inside of Craft. So you may or may not know this. Whenever the plugin is downloaded, there's a vendor folder that's created. The vendor folder is basically all the plugins, anything that the system needs in order to operate. This is where all those files reside, and it's usually source code files. You never ever want to touch this unless you really know what you're doing, because these are source code files. Technically, you can update these. You can recompile them, add them back into your system, however you want to do it. However, as soon as another update happens and it gets updated, it's just going to overwrite it anyway. So you're kind of SOL on that portion of losing your little custom code you made. Plus, there is a better way to do it. If you open up the default .json file, so let me just do this here. Let me just refresh this page. So here's my field right now. So it has HTML, format, bold, italic, lists, link, image, full screen, and video. So what we're going to do is we are going to start populating our plugins array with different plugins that are available inside of the Redactor plugin. What you're going to do is you're going to do, let's say if we wanted something for alignment. So this is pretty interesting. It's just called alignment. So what does that do? So we can refresh and we see align right here. So we can see that all you have to do is update your file, or you can just copy and paste it in to the custom configuration editor. Let's see here. So let's add another one. We can do something like counter. So this one is pretty cool. I use it quite a bit, actually. So let's just refresh. Now, you don't see any little change up here, but what you do see, what's added, is this little panel down at the bottom of your field. So it has words, it basically counts the words and it counts the characters. So that's really cool and pretty useful if you have an idea, or if you want to get a general idea without going to some external, tool and, counting words or whatnot. You can just see right in here how many you have. So let's do another one. Let's say if we wanted to start doing more stuff with fonts. So let's do maybe font color, and I'm not sure if this is one word or not. I don't know. Hopefully I don't get an error. Ah, nice. So font color is another little, you can do text and you can do highlight. So you can actually highlight something. So right there, I think I did highlight that. That's kind of clear all this garbage out here. All right, so let's see. So if I just start, let me just enter something in. Hey, this is pretty cool. Yeah, we can see that counts our characters, counts the words. Let's go ahead and maybe put a highlight behind it. Maybe let's do yellow. There we go. So there is another one too that I'll get to in a minute. That is, it's a marker, so you can pretty much use it for the same thing. Let's see here. So there is other ones. Let's do font family. So that's one that is really interesting and very useful. So font family, it's right here. It's with the two, the uppercase and lowercase. So I can change font family just by selecting and maybe selecting the font. It may not show on the front end like this, not on the front end, I mean in the CMS field, but when you go to preview it, it should show up, and I can't really tell. I'm not really good with fonts and colors and stuff like that. Getting better though. Let's do a little bit of bold. So I just bolded it. You can see kind of how Redactor works. You pretty much highlight stuff to make it change. Something good for SEO is you have the ability to change the format. So let's say if I wanted an H2 right here, I can do an H2, and I can say some headline. And this does show how it will. So let's see if I go back to my page here. It'll show exactly how it does on the screen. So let's see, we got font color, align, font color, font family. So font size is another useful one. So there's font size. Let's refresh. So we have font size now. That is right here. So let's say if I wanted to have cool be 24 pixels, boom, there it is. Let's go back, let's refresh. So there we go. So this is it's a WYSIWYG editor. If you've never used Redactor before, it's pretty good. We can do lots of cool things with it. Another one is Inline Style. Yes, Inline Style. It's still used today, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and add it. And Inline Style is, there it is, the little droplet deal. So we can basically go ahead and let me just highlight that word, this. We can do a style, we can do marked. That's pretty interesting. Let's see, what is that there? Oh, it's just a little mark tag. How about that? So let me just delete that. Just go back. Let's check it out again. We can do code, subscript, and the superscript. So if we add in another little plugin, let's add in, what is it called? Special characters? Special characters? I think it's special characters. Ooh, okay. Special car. No, it doesn't like that too. Special cars. There we go. All right. So now we have special characters available. So a lot of times you come across a registration field. Could be, sorry, not field. You need to add in a registration character or a copyright. You would just select whatever it is. So if we had some fancy dancy name that's registered, we just hit that. So let's do Redactor. I don't know if Redactor is really registered, but I can highlight that and I can go to Style and I can do Superscript, and it's going to set it up right. So I just undid it. So let's see what that looks like on the page. So it shows, see how it did that with Craft CMS as well. So it made that italic. Okay, so Redactor and then the registration ball. So that is not superscript right now. So all you have to do, you highlight it, go to Style, hit Superscript. Let's go back. I just have to wait for a second. There we go. I had to get off the field or do some action after I superscripted it. So yeah, there you go. There's that part of it. It made that superscript. That's really handy. I like that little feature a lot. Let's see here. So let me just do normal text. All right, what else can we do? So we have video, link, say variable we did. Oh, another really useful one is table. So you can add in different tables, things like that. Something I use a lot, it's right here. So you can go ahead and if you know what size table you need, you can go through, and this makes my day right here. It really does. So I'm going to say heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Then I'm going to say data 1, data 2, data 3. Let me make sure those are. Whoops. Yeah, so if you just wanted to add more stuff, you can just, insert your rows and columns there, add a new head. So let's go and let's preview that, see what that looks like. So, yeah, it doesn't look the best, but you can, if you're using Bootstrap, you can create, you can go ahead and add in all your custom code for that. If you're using Tailwind, you can style it however you want. That's the important aspect to all this is, they're just making the tools available for you, but it's really up to you to style it and give it the behavior that you want. So that's why it's really Redactor is an important tool in the toolkit. You can also do cool stuff like add in images and videos, just if you had an image that you wanted to add, okay, well, here's one right here. Let's go ahead and drop it in there. It's probably going to take forever and a day to, there we go. So yeah, just load it up. Hit save. So we can see that in our field, hopefully. So yeah, there it is right there. Again, you can customize this too. And everything is visible through the source code. So if you hit HTML, you'll be able to see the HTML output. Just by default, it wraps images in a figure. If you wanted to do a source set on anything, you can actually set it up with a picture. Otherwise, you can just inject some JavaScript in there to make it work for you. Boom. So widget is this right here. What widget allows us to do is you can put in custom code, little embedded code. Let's say if you had a YouTube video, you can embed code in there. So you just go up to widget, and then you can inject your code into there, pop it in, and you're done. So Redactor is very flexible. I hope in your craft journey that you really like using Redactor. They've made it available for free. And if you have any questions on anything, I'm going to leave the links to the craft documentation on the plugin right in the link to the video. And I'll see you on the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you want to stay up to date on various web development topics, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. See you on the next one.